Hello friends, today I want to share a story with you. It's a true story about a real American hero. His name was Tunis Campbell. You may not have heard of him in your history books, but his life is a powerful reminder of what one person can do. He was a man who believed in freedom. He believed in justice for all people. After the Civil War, a time of great change in America, Tunis Campbell traveled to the coast of Georgia. He went there to help people who had just been freed from slavery. He wanted to help them build new lives. His story is one of incredible courage and amazing hope. So, who was this remarkable man before he became a leader in Georgia? Tunis Campbell was born a free man in New Jersey in 1812. He was born at a time when most black people in America were enslaved. This fact alone made his life different. He was given opportunities that were denied to millions. As a young boy, he was sent to a school in New York. He learned to read and write very well. He studied to become a preacher. These early experiences planted a seed in his heart. He learned about justice and fairness, and he knew he wanted to spend his life fighting for those ideas for all his people. His work as an activist started long before the Civil War. He was an abolitionist, which means he worked to end slavery. He gave powerful speeches against the cruelty of the system. During this time, he was also a husband and a father, and he even worked as a head waiter in fancy hotels in New York and Boston. This job taught him how to manage people and organize large groups. He was learning how to be a leader in every part of his life, preparing for a moment he could not yet see coming. When Tunis Campbell arrived on the Georgia Sea Islands, he saw the promise of General Sherman's Special Field Order No. 15. This was the famous order that promised 40 acres and a mule to freed families. Campbell took this promise seriously, even when the government started to back away from it. He helped settle nearly 2,000 people on their own land across St. Catherine's and Sapelo Islands. He taught them how to register their land claims and how to farm it for themselves, not for a former master. For the first time, these families felt the pride of ownership and the security that came with having a place to call their own. But land was only one piece of the puzzle. Campbell knew that true freedom required education. How could people vote or read contracts if they could not read and write? So he immediately started building schools. He brought in teachers from the north and established a system where both children and adults could learn. Imagine the joy in a community where parents and their children sat side by side, learning their ABCs together. To protect this new society, Campbell organized a government. It was an amazing achievement. He was elected the governor of the islands. He established a Congress of 20 representatives, a court with a chief justice, and laws for the community. If someone committed a crime, they were tried by a jury of their peers. He also created a 275-man militia to defend the islands from outside threats, like the Ku Klux Klan. This system gave the people a sense of control over their own lives. They were not just subjects, they were citizens participating in their own democracy, making their own rules. Of course, this success did not go unnoticed. The world Campbell built was a direct challenge to the old powers of the South. Former plantation owners wanted their land back, and they had powerful friends in Washington. In 1867, the federal government reversed its policy. President Andrew Johnson pardoned the former Confederate landowners and ordered the land returned to them. The army arrived to force the freed people off the land they had worked so hard to cultivate. It was a heartbreaking betrayal. The dream of 40 acres was taken away, and Campbell and his people were forced to leave their island home. But did Tunis Campbell give up? Not for a second. He led his community off the islands and settled in a mainland Georgia county called McIntosh. There, he bought his own land and continued his fight. He knew the battle had moved from the fields to the halls of power. He organized black voters and got himself elected to the Georgia State Senate in 1868. He was one of nearly 36 black men elected to the Georgia legislature during this period. Campbell and the other black lawmakers were illegally expelled by their white colleagues simply because of the color of their skin. But Campbell fought back. He traveled to Washington, D.C., and argued their case before the federal government. Ultimately, as Reconstruction came to an end, Campbell's enemies finally cornered him. They couldn't beat him with ideas, so they used the legal system against him. They charged him with false crimes and sentenced him to a year of hard labor on a convict lease farm, a system that was slavery in all but name. He survived the brutal conditions, but his power in Georgia was broken. After his release, an old man, he returned to the North. Tunis Campbell's story has a sad ending, but his legacy is one of triumph. He showed us that one person's courage can build a world, and that the fight for a just America is a battle worth fighting, no matter the cost. his light shines on.